You can see the deer behind me. That's embarrassing. Oh my God. Okay. For the world to know, that's not mine. Okay, it's my dad's.
This is reading between the lines.
I don't know. I feel like that's just a weird thing. Not a weird thing to have, but like a weird thing to have.
You have books, I have books.
Yeah, I set that up. I mean, this row is mine and it has been there. This bottom row is my dad's. And then I just added more books up there that I keep upstairs because they're the spicy ones. And I don't want my dad grabbing it and just flipping to a page.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about Acotar, right?
Yeah.
I just reread it, so I feel like I'm like built for this moment right now.
Yeah, I haven't reread I haven't read it for a hot minute. And then obviously I read Crescent City right after Akatar and then Throne of Glass right after Crescent City. So
Oh my gosh. My other book bestie, she's starting Throne of Glass. She texted me the other day because she went out with my mom and my dad and her husband, and she was like, "So, do you have the Throne of Glass series?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I want to read them." And so I gave her all 7 books. So now
I
she
love
has
that.
them. And I was like, "I need updates as you read. Like, I need to know your reaction." So she's like, "Every book, I'll give you like a paragraph of like my feelings and thoughts." And I'm like, "Oh boy, this is gonna be good."
Yeah.
So, and
Also,
oh, go. Sorry.
oh, I need to send you my address so that you can send those books.
I was just gonna say I got them yesterday. They're so pretty. And like my bookshelf is like full now. Akatar.
Okay. Yes.
I'm so ready.
Yes. So at first I was like, what's happening? Like, I thought it was a slow start.
Oh, it
A
was like
little.
you have to, I told you, I'm like, you have to get through the first like 100 pages
Yeah.
and then stuff starts happening. Because the beginning is so. Anyways, bruh. The beginning is so boring because you're like, wait, I don't get who these people are. What are we talking about? The wall. And you're like, so
Yeah. Yeah. And then but, like the whole thing with the wolf, like
yeah.
I was like, what's happening here?
I know. So here's the thing: is it's a slow start, but the way that it starts is like so like abrupt, and you're like,
I,
like she just casually kills. Like she's like what, 18,
yeah, I think so.
and she just casually like shoots a wolf, and you're like, okay, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. But then when Tamlin like bursts through the door and what's his form? Is he also a wolf? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Okay. When
Or
he
like it's like
burst
a
through,
bigger beast wolf thing.
yeah. When he bu like burst through the door, I was like, "Oh my God, this is enemies to lovers." I immediately thought that. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's like Beauty and the Beast." It's like, yeah.
You were wrong.
Okay, listen, I I don't know if I told you this because I didn't want to like break your heart, but I knew that she wasn't gonna end up with Tamlin because I saw a spoiler about it before I read the books.
Of course you did. Did you see it on TikTok?
Yeah.
This is why you can't read books and be on TikTok at the same time because every book that I recommend, you always see the spoilers before you read it.
I know, but I'm like trying to manage 3 different accounts on TikTok and I'm losing my mind. Like literally losing my mind, but it's fine.
It's fine. Also, I'm taking a total left turn quick. Your book, it was so good. I was like,
I I'm so happy because I needed your like confirmation that it was good because you've read so many books and you are like very this I mean this is the best way possible, but you're very opinionated with like and you say like what you like about books and not, and I'm like, okay, if she has like all these critiques, I'm gonna listen to her like
well,
I
I felt
trust
kind of
you.
bad because I was like, I don't want her to think that I'm like being like mean with my critique.
No, yeah, I definitely wanted the critiques. And what you said, I was like, yeah, I was thinking that too. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know if it like I don't know. So I added a couple scenes. Hopefully it made sense, but I'm scared that it won't get published. So I only
Anyways,
anyways, I only sent it to two publishers so far. Because what I've learned is like publishers are really picky because some want you to have an agent and then some are like specific genres
oh,
and some are just like book proposals, not the whole manuscript. So it's like, oh my God.
I hope that you get into one and get yours published so that I can do the same one.
Yeah, that
And
would
you
be
can like put in
fun.
a good word for me or something. Because
The
then it's easier
connection.
on me.
Yeah, I was working on sending one to a publisher. My dad's like, "Oh, does Alexis know like how to do this or whatever?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm the guinea pig in this. I'll
Yep.
I'll help her out later."
So true. So true.
Which is
Anyways,
fine
no.
because
No, go.
what?
Go.
Okay. I was like, well, it's fine because you basically carried us through the whole semester with like all of our classes. So like I was always like, what are we doing?
What are we learning about? What's this class again?
Did you do the reading? Good, because I
No.
didn't.
I feel like that question wasn't always the same answer. No, of course I didn't do the reading. I was doing other
Yeah.
reading. I was reading Throne of Glass. What are you talking about?
I know. There's this TikTok that I made and this sounds like don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. And I made that TikTok. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm like me when I was binging the Sarah J. Maas series, writing my book, having a job, having a podcast, doing full classes like
Yep, that happened.
And I also had my radio show on top of that too.
Yep, we survived.
hmm
Anyways, book
Anyways,
Fire. I'm so excited for that because I want it
thanks.
I want the cover and I want to reread it. And I hate you because now I want the second book and the second book isn't even written yet. So,
No, it's so bad because I know exactly how I want it to end. But the lead up, I was writing it yesterday and I wrote a chapter and a half because I'm like, I can't even remember it. And I'll probably rewrite one of the chapters because I'm like, I, this is like nonsense. It doesn't make
no.
any sense.
Well, that's where, okay, so here's the thing. So I thought I was gonna get to like 100 pages and I was gonna be at the end of my book, right? Like I was like, that's gonna be the end, and then I have to go back and write the lead up, which will be like 100 pages. I'm at a page like 108, and I'm like in the middle of like the climax. Like
Yeah.
it like, and it's not gonna go like this, it's literally gonna go, you hit the climax and it's gonna keep going. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, my book is gonna be like, I was hoping to write 200 pages. So it would be like what, like 350?
hmm
I'm nervous that I'm gonna end up writing more than that, which takes more time because I just want to like I don't want to be done, but I want to be done, you know?
Yeah, because then you have to write the rough draft and then you have to go through it
Right.
and then
But I know exactly how it's gonna end. Like, okay, that's like this big thing, and then like the end will happen, like the last like two chapters. And he was like, no, like you need more like chapters in between that to explain it because it was too big right away. And I was like, anyways,
That's that's literally me. No, like I want to write the ending of book two so bad because I'm like it's gonna be so emotional and oh my God, like I want to write it so bad. I went back and forth between a couple of things and I'm like I think I'm doing this one thing so it's not so heartbreaking.
yeah, please don't make it heartbreaking, please.
But I really thought about it because I'm like, and then it would be good for this one thing, but I can still make it work. So yeah, it's a struggle. But then I'm like writing and I'm like what if I do all this work for book two and book one doesn't even get published?
Oh, wait, well, don't think like that. You have to think positively. I mean, Lauren Roberts did it, right? I think we can do it.
Yeah, true.
She's like my goal in life.
Oh, same. Like I see videos of her like speaking at places and I'm like, I love that for her.
Yep.
Like,
And she was like, I didn't think I was gonna write a book. I didn't think that it was gonna happen. Now here we are.
yeah. And she dropped out of college or she didn't go to college and she wrote her book instead.
Good for her.
And it worked out for her. I mean, I don't think I mean, obviously I couldn't do that, but
I'm done with college, so I don't have to worry about that.
yeah, yeah.
Anyways, that was totally side tangent. So,
Well, I'm glad we're promoting my book because,
yes.
oh, also what I learned is like it matters how many followers you have for publishing companies.
Really?
Yeah, literally social media, if you don't have a good social media for a lot of things, like they're not gonna.
Well, that sucks because I don't have TikTok and I don't want to get TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's for all of them, but there was that one that I was like, they asked for my follower account, and I'm like, I need to put both the accounts because I don't want to seem pathetic.
I I have a lot of followers on Instagram. I have like 1,000 followers on Instagram. That's not a lot,
And
but
I think that would still work.
we'll find out when we get there. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. These people are here. Anyways, okay.
Anyways,
I'm
back
going
to Akatar.
the but look out for Emma's book, The Secret Crown. Anyways,
Yes.
rest. Okay. Akatar. So yeah, the beginning and okay, she writes it at the beginning where you meet like the sisters and the dad. And I'm like, the dad's stupid. And Nesta is stupid. And Elaine is like in some other universe.
Yeah, Elaine is just like sunshines and rainbows, and
Yeah.
Nessa's like, everything sucks. Life sucks. I hate everyone.
Well, and like, isn't she, is it then she's engaged to somebody? No.
Yeah.
No, she's engaged later.
Yeah, because Cassian finds out about it and it's like a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
thing. Or no, because she was gonna get engaged and I don't know if
She
was that
likes
in Akatar?
somebody.
Yeah, and then she was gonna get engaged at one point, but then
Yeah.
Feyre was like, he's not a good guy, don't do it.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, that was dumb. And then like the chapter where they go, like after she kills, I can't even remember his name, the wolf or whatever,
Yeah, I don't know.
and goes and like they go into the city to like sell it and whatever, and they make all this money, and like she goes and like gives like some of the money to like her sisters to like go and get something that all they want is like shoes or clothes or whatever. It's like y'all are on like the like brink of dying. Like what?
That part made me so mad. I read that like months ago, and I still remember the rage I felt when I was like, you guys are so stupid. Like,
Yeah,
Feyre's
what?
out here risking her life.
Yep. And you guys are like, I just want new shoes or jewelry or something. It's like,
Yeah, and they wanted to use the money for all for themselves. Like, they didn't want to
yeah,
give Feyre anything. I'm like, she did the work.
yeah, what? And then like, okay, I still to this day do not understand the whole like children of the blessed thing. Like, and those people, I was like, when I read that, I was like, skip. Like, I don't,
I was like, this is like a cult.
yeah, literally.
It was literally a cult.
It was.
And their cult leaders kind of were like killing them. So like
I was like, are these gonna end up being the bad guys? Because this is a terrible bad guy. Like, this
yeah.
is bad. Like,
Yeah.
this is not even like whatever. Yeah, no, so that was weird. And then that's when the next chapter is when Tamlin comes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, they're all dying.
You thought that?
Well, I was like, I for sure thought that she was gonna have somebody die like right away. Like I
Okay.
had this feeling.
I definitely thought that he was gonna take her with her when the minute he burst through the door. I was like, it's gonna be the enemies to lovers thing, 100%.
Well, what was weird about it to me is that because I hadn't read books before, like the first time that I read it, I hadn't read books about like Fae and like all that. So I didn't understand the whole like shape shifting thing. And so I was like, it's just a wolf.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I I think I have read some. I can't really remember. There was one book series that I read that I did not like that had like magic and I think maybe Fae in it or something.
oh,
And then I read this one and I was like, Agadar changed my outlook on all of the Fae and mates and all of that stuff. So I'm like, this is a whole new ballpark. Like I'm
yeah.
loving this version so much better.
Yeah. No, it was like I just was like I didn't really know where it was going, but also again, like the first time I read it was like the first time I was reading like a romance. Can you hear the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. My windows are open still. Like it was the first time I was reading like a romance, like fantasy, like really like in depth, whatever. So I was like,
Mhm.
I don't get it. But then when he was like, I'm taking you, I was like, oh,
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 it
like
was definitely giving Beauty and the Beast.
it was. It so was. Especially with how like he was described, I was like, he's gonna turn good.
Okay, but when they said he was a blonde, I was like, can I just look past that? Like,
I love how you're just like, no, no blondes.
no, but no, whenever they describe like a character as blonde, and I'm like, oh, that's not how they look to me. Or like usually I'm like, they're that's not gonna be the main love interest. Usually it's not.
That's good to know.
Why is your character blonde? Okay.
Well, no,
Okay.
he's brunette.
Okay.
You already know like my book. Like I can't like
I am so confused. I don't even know. Like I know I've read things, but I don't even know the plot of it. Like I don't understand what's going on, but I'm loving the everything you're sending me. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so poetic, but I don't understand.
okay, good. That's good. I was like,
Yeah.
I was thinking the thing that I sent you yesterday. I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna spoil everything. But
Yeah, I was very confused. But I was like, okay. I was like, this is really good. This is really depressing, and I'm very confused.
okay, good. Because then when you actually read it, you'll be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
Sometimes when I'm writing my like the second book, I'm like, should I send it to her? Because now you know like everything.
yep,
And I'm like, I don't even have to block out the characters because like even if I do, she'll probably figure it out. So
yeah,
like I'm gonna be very mindful of what I send. It's probably just gonna be like quotes and stuff, but
you should just send me things all the time.
okay. I mean, if you want all those spoilers.
Listen, I need it.
Okay.
Anyways, we're so like,
We're never like
oh.
on track, but it's a-okay.
So they were riding through the forest. I don't know why I did that.
Giddy up.
Anyways, and they get back to the castle and it's the spring court, and I was like, this is where she's gonna be. This is her place. This is where she's like, whatever. I'm like, this is
Hmm.
be good. Like, this is gonna be
Yeah.
really good. And like, it didn't start picking up. Like, the book didn't start picking up until crap, the bed. What's it called?
What?
What's the thing called? The
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, can we just talk about how stupid Feyre was in the beginning, though, when she arrived at the spring court?
okay, why do you say she's stupid?
Well, because she was falling for all of these like tricks that these magical creatures were like pulling on her. And remember when she was thought she saw like her dad and she chased whatever thing
Oh yeah,
into the garden. And I'm
yeah,
like, you're so stupid. Why would your dad be here? He didn't even help you when you were home. Why would he come all this way for you? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
logic.
Well, and they like believed like all these things, like the magic things were real, but like then they were like, that's not true. That's not, like we can tell lies. We can like that thing where she was like, they can't tell lies. Everything he's telling me is truth. It's like,
Oh yeah, because of like all the misconceptions about the
yeah.
Fae. Yeah, okay.
What the crap is it called? Col col I always want to call
Oh,
calamari.
The calamity thing?
Yes, that. That.
Is that how you say it?
Well, I'm looking for it. I didn't think it was this far in.
Yeah, it's pretty foreign. Because they like start to like each other, and I think that's after like their little they went swimming in that like lake thing
Oh
or the
yeah.
pond. Because their relationship grew like a lot before that happened.
Calanamai.
Okay, I was kind of close.
It's Calanmai.
I can never pronounce these things.
I always looked at it and saw calamari. So, like the octopus. Guess what I turned to?
What? Oh my God, that scene. That scene, I love it.
Okay. Well, okay, literally nothing like is interesting until
Yeah, I know. But okay, so you know how in Throne of Glass I was like, I feel like she's not like the first book, first and second book. I'm like, I feel like something's gonna happen with like Kale and Dorian. Like she's not gonna end up with them, but I'm gonna enjoy like reading like these cute little romances. That was me with Tamlin. I was like, because obviously I didn't know anything. Like
yeah.
when I was reading that, I was like, I know that they're not gonna end up together, but I'm just gonna like enjoy these cute little moments that they have. Which there were some cute moments when I originally read it. Now, if I reread, I'd be like, can I skip?
Yeah. See, here's the thing. The first time that I read it, I was like, "Aw." But like when I just reread it, I was like, "Ugh."
Ew.
Like I didn't fully read it because I was like, "Ew." Ugh.
Yeah, no,
Like
no.
even with like when she went out the first time with Lucian and she went out with him and he was telling her about the the bog, I think is one of them.
Oh yeah.
And like the other like creatures, I was like, ew. Like,
You didn't like Lucian?
well, no, but he didn't act like a friend. So I was like, you're gonna
True.
be a betrayer here. Like you could just tell because he was totally on Tamlin's side for everything.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings because I definitely liked him. I don't know. I think I might have liked him more than Tamlin. Like for myself, I'm like Lucian's funny. He just like
Yeah.
that was filled to the top.
Yeah, I don't know. I like whatever. And like when they were explaining like what was going on, why they were wearing masks, I was like, this is weird.
Okay, the mask thing I kept ignoring because I could not picture all of this happening with him wearing a mask. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, I because I always forgot that it was only like to hear. Here.
Oh yeah. But still, that's so weird.
Yeah. And like the way that he was acting towards her too
Yeah.
was just like idiotic.
Lucian or Tamlin?
Hamlin.
Yeah.
Like he was just so angry all the time and he was just like he didn't want to like show her things and she's like if I'm supposed to live here
Which it's so crazy that he was so distant at first because the whole reason, like, this was a whole setup to get her there. And then he just, like, discarded her. And I was like, what is happening? Like, you literally let your friend go out and die so that
yeah.
you could get this girl and break the curse thing, whatever. And yet you're, like, being rude in the beginning.
Well, yeah, and but he was like, it's fine because like your family is like taken care of, and like that's what she kept holding on to is like he told me they're taken care of, so like they're like they have money, like they're taking care of whatever, so like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
them still, and it was like
Yeah.
no, he's basically locking you up in a house, but like in the moment when I was reading it, I didn't comprehend
See
that,
that. Yeah.
but now looking back, I'm like she was an idiot, like
She was an idiot.
all through Akatar, like the first book, I was like. I don't know if I like you. You're stupid.
I would literally say that, especially when she went under the mountain for him. I'm like, girl, you have no powers. This is a world full of fae. This girl, like, literally has all of them in her control. You're so stupid.
Okay, before we get to Under the Mountain, though, we have to make sure that we talk about where she goes and traps the surreal, or however you say it, the surreal, however you say it. Because
Yeah.
they were like, you can't do that. Nobody can do that. Nobody is like good at it and whatever. And she was like, watch me.
No, yeah, it's so funny because Lucian gave her the idea and he's like, well,
Yeah,
you could do this.
yeah. It's like, A, stupid. B, well, when he said that, it was like, what kind of friend are you?
I was
Like,
like, this is a trap. He wants
yeah.
her dead.
But she was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And then when it said stay with the High Lord, I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
because I was like, no way, like he's saying stay with her or with
yeah,
Tamlin. Like at that point,
yeah.
I thought that Lucian might be a love interest in that
Same. I didn't know if I didn't know.
because I
Like,
was like,
yeah,
no way she
yeah,
ends up with the first person she meets.
yeah.
Just saying.
I don't know. But I want to mention how he participated in that Kalan
Oh
whatever
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
We
he's
have
like,
to talk about all this.
I have to do this. Like, oh, it's such a burden. And then she went there and like that whole thing happened. And then you find out he actually didn't have to do it. And it's like, what? And he was like, I was searching for you, like out, like whatever. And that whole scene, I was like, what is going on?
Well, and he was like, don't like they were like, don't leave your room. Like this is gonna be like the worst night, whatever. Like anybody will do anything with anybody, like don't leave, whatever. It was like, what?
No, literally, they were trying to control her so badly. And looking back, like, then I was like, why did she leave? Like, that's so stupid. But looking back, I'm do whatever she wants.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then when she goes out, she's like basically getting manhandled by these fae and Rhysand comes up and he's like, there you are. I've been looking for you. I was like, here comes the
I thought it,
villain.
yeah, no, I definitely thought he just said that to like get the other like Faye out, like to leave her alone. But obviously, we find out later in A Court of Mist and Fury that that wasn't the case, and now it's like a whole another level of
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Rhysand's here.
Well, okay. Yeah, rereading that now, I'm like, but when he said that there, like, there you are, I've been looking for you. What else did he say? There was something else.
Oh, I can't remember.
But basically, I was like, he's the villain. That's what I thought. Like, that's where my brain went is he's the villain.
I definitely thought that too, but then I was like, but this is also intriguing. Like, I feel like he's not just a villain.
I totally thought, thank you. Oh yeah, thank you for finding her for me. But okay, so the reason why I thought that she was or that he was the villain was because um standing before me was the most beautiful man I've ever seen. So I was like, the villain's always beautiful and like
Hmm.
seeing. And so that's why I was like, and throughout the book, he acts like it too, even though he like saves her and stuff. But like he seems like the villain until like the bitter end.
Yeah.
So
Like when he went to see Tamlin and Lucian in the spring court and she was there and she was like being hidden
yeah.
and he found her
He was
and
like,
like that
guys, like what? I know
yeah.
he's here. Like,
Do you think I'm stupid?
well, the fact that that like he said that and then she was like, oh shit. Like
Yeah. But why do I feel like because she say like she was like scared kind
yeah.
of him? But I
Yeah.
was like, but are you scared?
No.
or because I don't know, I just feel like that she knew that he wouldn't have done anything.
Right. Well,
I
yeah,
just kind of felt like because I knew that.
yeah,
Like before everything was revealed, I'm like, he's not like she's safe with him. Like
yeah,
before I knew anything, I'm like, there's no way that he'd do anything to her.
yeah. Well, yeah. And when like Tamlin is all like controlling of her and like she's mine, it's like you don't even act like she's yours. Don't be like that.
Yeah. And the fact that he like hides her away just for himself, and I'm like,
Could we be any more selfish?
I know, and he even gets jealous of Lucian.
Yeah, what is that about? Like when,
It's
yeah,
like,
when she goes
dude,
out and rides with him, he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, you won't let me ride with you or go out on any of the things, so I won't."
yeah.
He's like, "Why would you do that?" It's like you have like your testosterone is too high. Like calm. like like you
Yeah.
telling you
Yeah. Seriously. Lucian deserves so much better.
literally.
Yeah. Also, we're talking about how, like, the second time he saw her, I feel like an evil mastermind come into my office. I feel like Aelin if she like turned when she turns around her chair.
Yep. Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, I just love how Tamlin was so afraid of Rhysand. Like so afraid.
Yeah, he was. Well, they all are. And so that's why I was like, he's the villain. Like, he's
Yeah.
the bad guy. Because I was like, the way that they're treating him makes him seem like the bad guy, but he's the most genuine out of all of them. You find that out.
Yeah, but also when Tamlin was like, "Oh my God, he's so bad," like hi, like Feyre, whatever. I'm like, you're kind of a little bitch. Like, like what? You can't stand up for yourself or your girl. Like you have to hide her away.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Rhysand would never.
Nope, he wouldn't.
No.
Anyways, so then she goes, "What's the reason?" Oh, because Tamlin's basically like scared of everything that's happening because of the bond or whatever. Not bond, that's the wrong word. The curse or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
Because y'all, if you are not watching the video while you're listening to this, you should be because we are very entertaining. Anyways, side tangent. Okay. No, like because he was like scared of whatever was gonna happen. So he was like, you need to go home.
Yeah.
And when she goes home and they're like, oh my gosh, Feyre, like I'm so glad you're home and like showing them like showing her all the things that they have now. It's like, you guys are so materialistic. Like what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they go home and they're living in like a mansion and they're all going to these parties and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
planning all these things. I was kind of mad. I was like, what?
Too.
I was like, what the heck? But you know what made me even more mad was when she found out Tamlin was taken and she went for him. And I was like, this is the stupidest character alive.
I know. Well, okay, because here's the thing. The way that it led up to that, so like, okay, she got kidnapped,
Mhm.
right? She went there. He was like total jerk. And she was like trying to figure out her life. She meets Rhysand. And then he freaks out and is like, go home. She goes home. Her parents are or her sisters are like stupid. And then she's like, actually, I'm gonna go save this man that loves me and that I love him.
I would never do that for a man.
How come I knew you were gonna say that?
That is,
But
that
you
was
hope that he would do that for you.
yeah. But for Tamlin.
No,
Really?
no.
No.
Right.
For
Well,
Rhysand, if
yes.
Rhysand was the main character, I'd be like, yes. But Tamlin with his long blonde hair and his fiddle that he plays and whatever, and when he hides away from people instead of fighting them, like, no, no, I would never.
You have a solid point though. Like it was so stupid. And she goes back and she's like, Alice, like, where are they? And like she explains everything. And she's like, I have to go get him and I have to go under the mountain. I was like,
And she's like, Alice, help me. And Alice is like, no, are
yeah, she's
you
like, you're an
dumb?
idiot. Like
I
you're
mean, she didn't say that, but she definitely thought it. She was like, okay, I guess I can show you the entrance, but like,
I would think it too. I'd be like,
yeah, no.
anyways, so she casually hikes under the mountain and goes and sees, we need to figure out how to say the crap, her name.
I
Amar
think it's Amarantha. Yeah.
Amarantha, that's what it is.
Hmm.
So she is like, I'm gonna come save my man. And she goes into the throne room or whatever. And basically, Amarantha's like, knew this was gonna happen. Like,
No, okay, can we just talk about it's the fact that she went in there like all stealth mission, like she thought she would be okay, like not get caught. She got caught right away.
I know. She was like, I am the coolest person ever.
I got this. And I'm like, girl, you do not got this.
No, no, girl, you don't got anything.
These Fey men or like Fey people can literally smell you from a mile away.
Yeah, no.
There's so many in this mountain. I don't.
Plus, we all knew you were gonna come and
Yeah.
like save Tamlin. Like we knew.
Yeah.
We expected it. Like what?
Oh, have you heard that theory that Amarantha and Tamlin were mates, and so that's why Amarantha kidnapped him and did all those things, but Tamlin rejected the bond.
I believe that to be true.
I think it could be true. But I also saw one where like Elaine and Tamlin had some connection because of that stone heart thing that
Yeah. I mean, I guess we might find out in the next book.
yeah. And like Elaine is like such spring court coded.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
But I want the next book to be Azrael
I do too.
finding someone. I just want to see him.
I just love him. So, but also there's been like speculation that it might be Moore's journey while they like everything that has happening during A Court of Silver Flames because she wasn't there that whole time.
I know, but I don't really want that.
Says the one who was literally like the spokesperson for Moore. What?
Okay, but I need Azrael story. Like I need more of Azrael because we never get anything of him, and I feel like
True.
it would be such a good book. I mean, I loved Silver Flames because Cassian, obviously. So
That just
I
reminds me
think
of an episode that we did like a while ago when you're like, I feel like he's gonna grow. And I feel like that's when you're talking about Dorian. You're like,
oh
you're like, and I feel like he's gonna grow. That's exactly what you just did. It made me think of that because I think of the reel like all the time. Where it's like, I feel like he's
I
gonna.
didn't even real I didn't even realize I just did that.
You totally did. That's what I mean think of because I love that reel because it's literally like I'm like, what the flip are you talking about?
And he did grow. He did grow. If
Okay.
I had to
We
choose
can't argue
an
about this every single episode.
no, okay, if I had to choose any guy that wasn't a Fae, I would choose Dorian 100%.
I just wouldn't have that be an option.
Well, if it was an option, I'd choose Dorian. But also maybe I would choose him over I would choose him over Tamlin. I'd probably
Well,
choose him over Lucian too.
duh.
Okay.
We need to stop getting sidetracked over Dorian every single time.
Ugh.
Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, she gets caught, and then Amarantha's basically like,
No, it's the fact It's the fact that when Feyre saw her, she's like, she's kind of ugly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
She's like,
I pictured her not pretty, but everybody was like, she's so pretty.
I thought she was gonna, because everyone was like, oh, she's so pretty, and I was like, she's gonna be like this gorgeous villain.
Yeah.
And then Feyre gets her, and she's like, I thought she'd be prettier. That's like her first thought, and I'm like, that's so something I would do. Like if I got caught, I'd be like, oh, I can take her. I'd be like, judging what at its finest. Like my facial expressions would get me killed immediately.
Oh, same. I wear like everything right here, so everybody would be
Oh,
like,
same. I'd be like, mm,
mm,
that's. I
mm.
think you could do something better there.
Yeah, literally. And okay, so she gets caught and like she goes there and then like okay, the whole like riddle, the like challenge thing, and then also when you find out because Rhysand like or whatever like asked for her name or whatever, and she said Claire, and then like you figure that whole thing out.
Yeah, that was bad.
I was like Rhysand just went and killed her.
Yeah.
I don't like this man. Anyways,
Yeah, but then later when you find out he was like, I thought it was a fake name. So I mean that's whatever. But I want to talk about the riddle.
I knew what it was right away.
I knew what it was right away, and I was like, this is too easy.
Yeah. How did she not
I
get it?
Yeah, I was like, it's love. Clearly, because she's there for Tamlin and like everything lined up. And I'm like, let's put two and two together here. Okay.
Listen, I think, okay, not that I want to defend her, but I think she didn't know what it was because she's never experienced love.
Oh yeah. Have you told that to me before? Or have I seen that somewhere else? Because I've definitely heard that.
I probably have said it. You've probably also seen it on TikTok because you're always on TikTok. So
I have 3 accounts to run.
calm down.
Sorry.
Zen.
Every time we do that, I think of you've seen High School Musical, right?
Yeah.
When they're like they go like the ma.
Ma. Yeah. Anyways, yes.
Anyways.
I was like, it's love. Like, why? Like,
And then okay, so the first trial was the worm one, right?
yep.
I was like that was a good scene. Like she was smart. She was,
Yeah.
whatever. And then the I don't know if it was like another riddle or something, and then Lucian's life was in danger. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah. She had to pick her because she didn't know what the words were.
yeah, and Lucian's like, pick one, and she's like, and I love seeing memes that's like, this is Feyre and this is Lucian when when he finds out that she can't read. My favorite memes because they're so funny. And
Just
Lucy's
pick
like,
it.
well, fuck.
Pick one. Like 30% chance, just pick it. And she's like,
Yeah.
she's literally just like,
She was like, I'm gonna pick two because I'm one person and Tamlin's another, and that makes
See, okay, the first whole book, I was like, she's such an idiot. Like, she's literally an idiot.
I was dying laughing because I know that was such a stressful situation, but she was like, I'm one person, Tamlin's another, that makes two, and we're in love. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of logic is that?
I know, I was like,
Like she can think that simple-minded about that, but she couldn't figure out the riddle that was like so simple-minded. I don't know. And then Rhysand helped her, thank God. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay, we have to talk about that because that's before the third last one. When, so like the first, like, so it's in the worm one where she breaks her arm, right? Or something. She
yeah,
breaks something.
she definitely gets injured. Yeah.
And so he comes and he fixes it. And he's like, nobody else is gonna come for you. Like whatever. Like she knew nobody was gonna come in, but he came
Hmm.
and made the bond or whatever with her.
Yeah.
and put the eye on her hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, this is the man's. This one's it.
Yeah. And then when he like first of all, when she had to clean when she had to do like those chores and stuff and she had to clean his fireplace or whatever, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's his room. Oh my God." I was like, "Yes." I was so happy because I wanted more scenes with them. Like from the moment they met, I was like, I'm intrigued.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and then when he like every night or like every couple nights, whatever it was, every week or whatever, he would make sure that she got distracted and would forget everything. Because everybody told her like, don't drink the wine, don't do it. But then like he gave it to her and was like, just like basically trust me, and she did. I was like, oh
Yeah, so at first I was like, he's like drugging her. What the heck? I was like not okay with it. But then after a little bit I realized like this is good so that she can just like forget everything. And he had her
yeah.
basically. But
And
like
then
at first I was like skeptic. I was like, "Oh my God, this isn't good. Like I don't like this." But I grew up. Yeah.
well, and then the scene where he comes and she's like crying. Do you remember too? She had heard music while she was just sitting there in her cell, and it was
Yeah.
sounds of Valeris.
Yep. But you don't even find that out until Mist and Fury.
But I was like, this is important. There's no way she would put this in without it being important.
I
Like the
don't think I like, yeah. I don't think I put two and two together. I wasn't like, I was like, oh, wow, okay, there's music, but I wasn't like really thinking deep into it. I don't think.
I wasn't either, but I was like, she wouldn't include the fact that she like is hearing music unless it's like important somehow. But I didn't
Mhm.
know like how it was going to be important. But then when he
Yeah.
found out, I was like,
Yeah.
anyways. But the other scene that I was going to talk about was when he comes and she's crying and he like licks the tears off of her cheeks.
I didn't know if I liked that or if I was grossed out by that. I had mixed feelings about it. I was like, oh my God, that is so intimate. What the heck? But then I'm like, he licked the tears off her face. You liked it? Yeah.
I was like, because
Yeah.
here's the thing about it. And once you get like obviously, and according to Miss and Fury, you understand. But
Mhm.
like he's like written as this like high lord, like the basically the most powerful male ever, and
Mhm.
he's like licking her tears. Like that was
Yeah.
just like such like a symbolic moment for me. I was like,
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I definitely thought like I was like, okay, he's definitely something else.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. And then that one night when she gets like a minute with Tamlin, bro,
okay.
what are we doing?
I want to talk about my thoughts throughout all this, right?
Please do.
So when he got a hold of her and he started like making out with her, I was like, oh, that's really cute. Like they finally get a moment alone. That was my initial thought, right? And then but then I was like, but like I was kind of shipping her and Rhysand. I was like, oh, I don't know, like what's happening? And so Rhysand came in and he was like, you guys are so stupid. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. And then he like kissed her to make it seem like he was the one doing that. Anyways, and then afterwards, when Rhysand's like, I don't remember when he said this. Like, did he say an Acotar? When he was like, he got free for one moment and he decided to make out with you.
I think he said it right away.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was like when Tamlin left, he was like, "You're such an idiot." Like,
Yeah.
I
Then and then
think,
after he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. I was like, because Tamlin was like wanted Feyre to save him, save everyone, no matter the cost. And Rhysand is like wanting to help Feyre herself. Like he didn't care about everyone else. He wanted to help her.
yeah, he wanted her to live,
Yeah, and
and
Tamlin just
Tamlin just
he
a
wanted
toxic.
her. Yeah, literally, he wanted that her to save them. But then after, like but then for herself, he wanted just a side piece, basically, just to
Mm-hmm.
use her to control her,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that like whole that scene, I was like, I mean, like, okay, I don't get it, but I get it. Like, obviously, like he like loves her, and so like wanted to like have an intimate moment, but it was like, is this really the time? Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Also, like, if you know the answer to the riddle, maybe give her the answer to the riddle or whatever. It was like, why is it like he's doing nothing to help her? Didn't like even like congratulate her on the fact that like she passed some of the things, didn't say anything about the fact like you're doing it, you're doing good, whatever. Like just was basically like, let me kiss you. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
no. Keep it in your
I just, yeah. I just, when Rhysand was like caught kissing Feyre, after all of that, I was like, is Amarantha gonna punish Feyre for kissing Rhysand? Because Rhysand was her side piece. Like she was using him. And I was like, which one would she be more mad about? Like, would she like punish Rhysand for helping Feyre if she knew or whatever? But apparently she didn't care that much. I mean, I feel like he made him pay, but like,
She punished him, I think.
yeah.
Because I think you find
Which
that
is
out later.
yeah. Which the whole thing is just so sad. Like it literally makes me cry.
Oh, I know. Like, because
Yeah.
listen, like all sexual assault and abuse is not okay. But like in
Mm-mm.
the book, when it was just like when it was him being sexually abused, it was like or being used like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
especially with how you know like he's the most powerful person. I'm talking with my hands so much right now. Oh my god.
Oh, I always do, yeah.
But like when he's like the most powerful male or whatever, and then he's being treated like that, it's just like,
Yeah. And then there's a part in Mist and Fury that we'll talk about that like every time I think about that, like what something he says to Feyre that goes back to Acotar, like the first book. I'm like that, like I feel so sad about it
mm-hmm.
because it's not like it's talked about, but it's not really talked about.
Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. But I'll mention that in Mist and Fury when we talk about Mist and Fury, but
Yeah. So yeah, and then the last child comes and listen, okay. That wouldn't have been easy, okay, to kill like the first two. But the I would have killed Tamlin, like end of story. Like it would have just been like
yeah.
I wouldn't have killed myself. Like
No.
I don't think I would have.
Didn't the Fae like say like do it or something? Like there was one Fae that she was supposed to kill and they're like, yeah, do it or something like that.
She had the two ones to kill. One of them was like praying, like, okay, like I know it's my time to go. And then the other one was like, I think it was basically like, yeah, like you have to do this. Just like
Yeah.
end this misery for me now.
Yeah, because she had to kill all three, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one was Tamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's crazy that she figured that riddle out, that Tamlin's heart was like basically stone. But the second try was, okay, I'm one person, Tamlin's another, that means two. And I'm like, how can you be so stupid and smart at the same time? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
literally.
understand.
Literally. Yeah. No, she
I just feel like in Mist and Fury, she automatically just becomes smarter whenever she's around Rhysand.
do you understand? Do you get why though? Like she was always treated like she was like even in like through Akatar like in the Spring Court she was treated like she was nothing so she was treated like she was stupid but as soon as Rising gives her the opportunity to act like she's smart she is smart
Hmm.
so it's like once
Yeah.
you're around people who treat you like how you actually are you will actually be that way.
Yeah, and it's the fact that like before Tamlin even came into the picture, like she was feeding her family, like she was smart in that sense. And then the moment a boy comes into the picture, she just loses all sense of intelligence, really.
The same thing with like Selena, Aelin, whatever. Like when she was with Dorian and Kale for the first time, it was like she acted a little stupid, but it's like you're the greatest assassin in the world. But then when Rowan treated her like she was nothing and was like,
Mhm.
you need to learn how to fight for yourself, and she did, then she became like the most brilliant person ever.
Yeah, it's just weird how that happens.
Well, it's like they treat so like Rhysand and Rowan like both treated them like you are powerful, but you are acting like you're not. Like, and they basically were like, you need to stop telling yourself that you're not because they told you that you weren't. Because you're
Yeah,
not. Like,
that's very intelligent, actually.
not just a hat rack, my friend. It's
I don't think I've ever heard that expression.
in Friends.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Joey says it.
That sounds like just something Joey would say.
I'll send it to you when we're done. It's pretty
Okay.
funny.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So then when she like, I was like, it's like, okay, well, there's no more books. She died, so that's whatever.
Yeah.
But then, listen, proof that Rysand was like number one when he like made sure to get all the High Lords to come and put in their power so that she could live. He wanted her to live. Tamlin didn't.
Yeah. So I want to mention that because when, first of all, when Amarantha like went back on her deal thing, I was like, excuse me. And then she solved the riddle, but like didn't Amarantha still kill her? Like she passed the test, she solved the riddle, and then Amarantha still like, Um and Tamlin just like cried, sat there and cried. And
Yeah.
I'm like, do something.
Yeah, he basically just like held her, but Rysand was like gathering people to save her life. It was like,
And
boy,
that
man.
that yeah, exactly. But when she was like dying and that like barrier was around them and Rhysand tried everything he could to break it. And when they described that, I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, okay, he's literally showing all of his cards right now. He's literally showing that he cares, which he hasn't done.
Yeah.
Like he's been playing like games this whole time, and this was like the true moment where he was like showed everyone, even Amarantha, that he cared. I'm like, that could be very dangerous for him if she survives.
Yeah. Well, and then I can't remember who actually killed her.
Amarantha?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
If I could freaking spell her name. Tamlin.
Okay.
He stabs her in the head with Lucian's sword and tearing
Yeah,
out her throat with his teeth. That's right.
because the plan was, and this was Rhysand's plan, I'm pretty sure, to get Tamlin out of her control because Tamlin was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And so if she broke that curse on him, then he could kill her. And the
Yeah.
fact that Rhysand put that plan together knowing that Tamlin was the only one who can stop her, I feel like that like shows like he's the man. Like he's
Yeah,
literally
literally.
like he's ready to put aside everything to save people and help people and whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's the bigger person basically.
Yeah. So yeah, then she is saved and is Faye. And then basically like ends. Like she's like, we get to go home. And it was like, but you know that she has like the bond with the night court. So you're like,
Yeah, actually, oh yeah, yeah, that thing. I forgot about that. But when Rhysand like fell off, not fell off, but like when he stumbled off the roof and then vanished when they said like bye, and like she was like he like there was shock on his face and he vanished. I'm like, what? Like I didn't even understand. Like I'm at this point I'm very new to mates. Like I think I've read like one book, maybe two of
yeah,
it, and I was like, I don't understand exactly. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was like,
But I definitely wanted to read. I think you gave me like Acotar and A Court of Mist and Fury both right away.
I did, I think, because I was like, you need to get to A Court of Mist and Fury.
Yeah.
Both
And so
hold.
I started reading it right away and I'm like, I can't wait till the
So
the
she like
night
puts
court
in her
deal.
2 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
or her week a month or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I have a would you rather, but if you don't want to do it, we can do a different one.
Okay, say your would you rather.
Okay. So, would you rather do the worm trial, the, the second trial where she has to read, or the third one?
I
If
think
you're in
this.
her position though, because you have to like think about it in her position.
So if I can't read,
Right, because obviously we can read, so it'd be like that would be the easiest one. But like if you were in her position, which one would you want to do?
um, okay. See, for the third trial, I was thinking that one, but I don't think I could kill two innocent people. I could kill Tamlin, but I couldn't kill. Or I guess if I'm Feyre, maybe I couldn't. Probably the worm. I feel like I could figure something else. Figure something out, but maybe actually, maybe I could do the third trial. Do we get Rhysand's help in the second trial?
No.
Okay, then I think the third one.
Yes. No.
I'll do the third one. If we don't get Rhysand's trial, I'll do the third. Or help. I'll do the third one.
I couldn't do the third one. Like I couldn't. I listen. Obviously, I would never be in this scenario, but girl thinks that she could do the first one and be just fine. Like I would, I'm smart. I could figure it out. I'm strappy, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but also I don't know if like my brain would be able to like handle that. Like the second one, I would just pick one.
Yeah.
Like she like sat there and thought about it. I wouldn't even do that. I would just like pick one and just be like, well, life happens.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
literally.
yeah, for the first one, I just feel like with the worm chasing me and it's like dark and like everyone's cheering for the worm and there's so much happening, I'd get overstimulated.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd be able to logically make a decision.
I wouldn't.
But I also have like I like have you seen the thing that's like, oh, I could beat someone up with just my pure unfiltered rage? Like I feel like I could do that too.
I feel like the adrenaline rush would help.
Yeah, so maybe the first one. Because also sometimes when it's like high stakes and I'm thrown into something, I have to make a decision fast, like I can usually do that.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
actually, yeah. I'm gonna change our answer to the first one.
I feel like the second or first one.
Yeah. Well, if I can't read, I'd be so stressed. I'd be like, what? I don't even understand.
That's why I would literally just be like
Yeah,
done.
but it's not just Lucian's life. Like she has to pass these tests.
Yeah, but I'd be like,
Uh,
I don't know. Anyways, that was
Anyways.
Acotar. Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm so excited to talk about A Court of Mist and Fury.
Oh my God, that one's gonna be so good. I love that book so much.
That might be one of our like longest ones because it's such a long book and it has so much in it.
Yeah.
And
Well, the Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn one is pretty long. It's over an hour. Yeah.
but I'm excited for that one. So stay tuned. That's coming. Also, want to mention that we are doing an episode every week for the summer through August, right? Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
Okay.
Until school starts for me
Yeah.
again.
Because we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Once Reckless comes out in July, we're going to talk about that.
I'm so excited. We're gonna talk about Fourth Wayne once I read it.
Oh, I'm so excited for you to read this. So excited. Because everybody was like, you're either gonna hate it or love it. And I was so thinking that I was gonna hate it. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that you don't hate it.
I
Because
probably won't. I've liked all the books you've like recommended so far.
that the end of Iron Flame, we'll get to it. Anyways,
Okay. Anyways.
thank you for listening. This was Reading Between the Lines. See you next time where we talk about A Court of Mist and Fury, chapter 54 and 55, which I'm so excited. I'm like,
Yes.
like, okay.
I think about okay, this might sound bad, but I think about those a lot.
Same. That's like my mile marker for like my own book.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have a chapter 54 and 55.
That one chapter you sent me that you wrote, I'm like, this is your version of chapter 54.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye.
Cool. Bye.